Hey, it's James Raby. We have to say something here, but I don't want to say much. Thanks for listening to the Y105 FM Early Morning Show Radio On Demand podcast. Love you. This is an idea that would work great here. Someone just needs to pick it up. Hi, it's James Raby. It is the Y105 FM Early Morning Show. The smile of the day today is from Kentucky. I'm sorry, that's a big fat lie. It's Baton Rouge, Louisiana. A teacher was recently given a new car. A guy named Henry Morin made headlines after it was reported that he walks to his job at the Thrive Academy every day, a nonprofit group called, 2911 for families, heard about his story and gave him a new Acura SUV. Can you imagine being this guy? Now, he's not walking because he wants to. He's not walking because, it's only a few blocks and it's good for me. Nope. He's walking because he has no other choice. And Louisiana isn't famous for paying their teachers a bunch. And at private schools, often it's even worse. But he was working, helping the students, keeping things going, and a group heard about it and said, hey, let's help this guy out, which is just fantastic. That wasn't the story I was going to tell you, though. That's funny. I saw that story, and I was like, I got to tell you this story. But the Roses story is something we could do here in Minnesota. That's what I meant to tell you about, because that is happening in Kentucky. Virgie, Kentucky. Reed Family Floral in Virgie, Kentucky, making headlines because they have launched an Adopt a Resident program for Valentine's Day. You know someone that is in a home where they don't get much attention, or maybe they do get attention, but you think they'd like a rose? Well, you just got to adopt them, and then a rose gets sent to them, which is kind of it kind of reminds me of being a high school kid. And when we would do the, hey, you can get a rose delivered to your girlfriend, just buy it here and it'll be delivered later. And I remember how exciting that was. Well, imagine being in a nursing home. And we know how important social interaction is to all of us, right? But when you are living in a place where it's not really your home, and you hope it feels like that, and we all hope it feels like that, but maybe you don't get visited very often, and maybe you feel a little lonely. Imagine how great it would be to know that someone in the community is giving you a rose hug. That could happen here. I love it. And if you do decide to do it, tell us about it on the Y105 FM.
Parenting comes with a lot of questions at Bye Bye
Y105 FM's Early Morning Show, the Friday Eve edition. Mayor Kim Norton is with me this morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you this fine morning?
I'm awake.
I figure if you can have Christmas Eve and we celebrate that, you can have New Year's Eve and we celebrate that, every week you can have a celebration with Thursday Eve.
Why not?
Why not, indeed. So you're here because tomorrow is the State of the City address.
It is.
Almost as big as the State of the Union, with just a few less people in attendance.
Yes, a few less people in attendance, but it is important.
It is, well, because you have to, as mayor, tell us how the city's going.
Absolutely.
And so I have you here today to talk a little bit about that, the state of the city and such. But first we have to play a game called Which Rochester Is It? We have been mistaken for Rochester, New York a few times.
Believe me, I get the phone calls.
And the last one I remember is when there was some skullduggery with police and a little girl in a police car getting handcuffed. And you said that you just got so many calls, people furious with you, not even realizing they weren't calling the right city.
Exactly. I had that one, and I had another incident where someone said the city hall's in lockdown. This is an embarrassment. And I went running down the hall saying, are we in lockdown? Of course, we were not. It was Rochester, New York.
So, and in New York, it would be like an Al Pacino style mayor. I will bring this city down with the angels. Whereas here, are we really closed, eh?
What's going on?
So, which Rochester has a proper place for your waste?
Oh, Rochester, Minnesota.
Do you know where it is?
I do know where it is. Everyone knows where it is. It's out at the waste to energy burner.
Well, I was hoping you'd sing the jingle. There's a proper place for your waste in
Olmsted County.
Yay!
I can't sing.
Neither can I. And yet, here I am. Which Rochester has an NY after the word Rochester?
Oh, let me think. Not Minnesota.
No, correct. Which Rochester has a large corn-on-the-cob water tower without an official name?
Oh, it's ours, and we love it.
I know that you like that water tower.
I do. It's a little bit ironic now over the years, but It's what people look for and remember us for when they drive through town.
Well, and it is, I believe, historic.
It
because
is historic.
It speaks of our early agricultural roots in the days when we had a plant processing stuff before there was really a whole big city around it.
Absolutely. I love it.
I do too. It's like I know that Blue Earth loves their Jolly Green Giant.
They do. And I will say, when I became mayor, I got a lovely picture of our corn tower from some of our business and judge friends.
Nice.
Who sent over a picture that I have in an anteroom to my office, and I love it.
Well, maybe Mayor Ardell Brady had a ton of teddy bears. Maybe you should just have a ton of corn on the cob water tower things.
I think this one picture will be great.
You sure?
I'm sure.
Because I bet you could get a plushie corn on the cob water tower.
I probably can, but you may get a postcard from me now.
Okay, all right then. I would like that. Which Rochester hosted the Skeeter basketball team?
Oh, that would be here.
It was Rochester, Minnesota.
I used to go to those right before the Renegades, I believe.
Yeah, it was a blast.
It was.
Do you remember the mascot was a mosquito?
My children were very small at the time, and my daughter in particular, Catherine, I'll throw her under the bus, loved going to the Skeeters games. Yeah. So yes, I do recall.
Pretty fly for a white guy. And I've never known a mascot with so much energy. That mascot was everywhere. I tried being a mascot once.
That does not surprise me. You would be a perfect mascot.
Well, which Rochester has the Pup Cup Challenge?
I'm not familiar with the Pup Cup Challenge, but I did see it written somewhere. So I'm going to guess it's Minnesota.
It is, and you are in the building, and you will meet later on the parent to the champion Pup Cup puppy of this year, a big dog named Moose. Moose is a big Great Dane.
I love Moose,
and I say his owner, but really it's just the person that happens to be in the house with him. Is going to be here to help us with a video later on today.
Wonderful. Is that Moose or Mises or?
Just one moose.
Just one moose.
Just one moose. There's another big dog in the house, but no, he's a little older and nowhere near as mischievous.
Okay.
Moose likes to. And there's videos all over YouTube about it. He likes to get ice out of the refrigerator. You know, the door that has the ice thing. He knows how to operate it.
I have a cat that does that, actually.
Wow.
I do. I have a cat that can operate, and if she hears it tumbling, she races to the kitchen and stands at attention waiting for the ice to fall.
Well, now, does she jump up?
She does and hangs there, and she has hit it twice. Water once. She didn't like that so much. Nope. Kind of scared her away from, but she hit the ice the first time. Mm-hmm.
Wow. Well, I have to say you aced Rochester. Which Rochester? So congratulations. You are walking away with all the bragging rights here on the Y105 FM Early Morning Show.
Give your kitchen the upgrade
to the amazing Y105 FM Early Morning Show. Went through puberty there for a second. Amazing. It's going to be not a bad day at all. We're going to have the kind of day we deserve. It's going to be better than the last few sleety overnights, so you can drive well and all that stuff. With me this morning is Mayor Norton, Mayor Kim Norton, who is delivering the State of the City address tomorrow at 7:30 a.m.
You're used to being up in the morning.
I am, and I still think that's early.
Well, we wanted to give people an opportunity to be able to come before work.
Right.
So that was
and people can actually go to it.
Absolutely. We have, it would be nice if they could call the City Hall, Michonne Rogers in my office at the mayor's office to let her know we have people who sign up for breakfast, but we also have people who just want to come, not eat and just listen. And so we have seating for them. Well,
and off air, we were talking about something that I think really tells you how time has changed, and for the better, honestly. But you have experience volunteering with kids and doing stuff. I do too, with the John Marshall High School Key Club and other Key Clubs throughout the country. How time has changed, where you like my sister Joan, she volunteers with the Nordic Ski Club, and she has to make sure all the kids get home. But she can't give a single kid a ride home anymore. That's just not allowed.
Right. Times have changed, and there's a lot more safety and safeguards put in place.
Did you when those first things happened? Like Diane Ilstrup is the one that alerted me to it, way before it became a national trend. Which I've always loved Diane. I thought she was a phenomenal administrator for the school.
Fabulous over at John Marshall.
Right.
Fabulous.
Absolutely amazing. And she gave me the heads up. Hey, here's the things you got to watch out for. And at the first, I was like, what are you talking about? What am I going to do to someone? I was all upset because I couldn't do these. Outwardly, I was like, okay, no problem, because I'm a rule follower that way.
Yep.
But I was annoyed, and I had a friend at the time who volunteered a lot in his kids' schools. He was a stay-at-home dad and was furious when they wanted him to get an FBI background check. But it's like it's not against you, dude. It's just how it has to be.
It is, and that's true of nonprofits and volunteers in the school. Yes, if you're having contact with children.
Yeah. Did it bug you at first, or were you naturally like, well, I'm a parent, so I know?
Well, when you've been doing it for a long time and you were a staple in the school and you were there every day, it was kind of like, well, I do this all the time and I've been doing it for years. Why do I have to start now? But when it is about children's safety,
right,
you
suck it up.
You just go in and you do it, and then you know that you've been checked out and everybody feels better.
Right. So I think that's fascinating, the amount of time. I guess I've been in town a long time. When I think about that, it's like, oh my gosh. I also so many things.
Camping out in cardboard box
Yes.
tents with
Oh
you.
my gosh,
not
Cardboard
with
Box
you,
City.
not with you. Let's be clear about that. But on
No.
the same block as you,
Yes.
out in the parks.
I was just talking about that with my girlfriend, Diana K. Evans. If her boss, Diane, is listening, how you doing? Having a good day? Excellent. How we had all these cardboard boxes laid out and how much fun it was for the kids, but also how telling it was. And was it the Interfaith Council that was doing that?
I think so. Back in the day, it was. I did it. I think I slept out 3 years or 4 years in a cardboard box. And I remember Mayor Brady had his neighborhood.
Yeah.
He had his granddaughter come and stay with him in the box one time, and then created a little city hall. It was fun.
My K Clubbers created a condominium development.
Yeah.
And it was in fun, but they really learned about how awful it is to have to, just after one night, how you don't want to go out and look for work. You just want to go home and sleep afterward.
Yeah, it was definitely a learning experience.
Good times. It is Y105 FM's early morning show. I know it's Friday Eve, and let's look ahead to the weekend. Are we going to have fantastic weather? We'll find out next.
Getting you through the...
I'm James Raby. James Bay, interesting guy. His favorite sandwich is a bologna sandwich, so he and I are kind of kindred souls. But
I grew up on that.
Do you like banana?
I grew up
bologna?
on bologna.
I think bologna sandwiches are the best. It's Mayor Norton in the studio with me this morning. What is your sandwich juice, so to speak? What do you use? Ketchup? Do you use mustard? Or mayonnaise with bologna? What?
Mustard and cheese.
Like a real cheese or like a slice of that processed stuff that comes in the wrapper?
Not Velveeta,
Yeah.
Kraft,
okay.
cheese. That's how I grew up. But my favorite sandwich is grilled peanut butter.
Grilled peanut butter?
Like, think grilled cheese, but you put peanut butter in there. I grew up on it. I love it. I had it for lunch like yesterday. I love it.
I'm going to try that. I do ketchup with bologna, and everyone thinks I'm weird because of that.
Well,
but I
you are.
only use mustard if you fry it.
I think you're weird, but not because of that. Just saying.
Okay, and I often say that. Hey, I might be weird, I might be a jerk, but this is not evidence of that. Okay, so tomorrow morning, 7:30, the State of the City.
Yes.
For Rochester, Minnesota, Mayor Norton.
Yes, we started doing that a number of years ago, and in the pandemic, we did it online. But we're going to get together at the Mayo Civic Center at 7:30 and talk about the state of the city. It will be multi-governmental. In the past, I've had some other business leaders come too. This year, we're just going to do the 3 governmental bodies, but our partners are there in the audience.
And it's in the arena, so thousands of people from Rochester can go.
No, it's in a room over at the Mayo Civic Center. It'll be marked on the marquees if people want to go. And again, if they'd let Michonne Rogers at the mayor's office know that they're coming, that would be helpful for chairs.
So can you give us a sneak peek? What kind of things you're happy about and some things you think need work?
Well, certainly in the recovery from the pandemic, we really have to double down on trying to support our business community. So I'll be talking a little bit about how we're going to be doing that and some of the efforts that have been made kind of behind the scenes to this point. But we're going to roll out a process for trying to be more supportive. So that's coming. I think that's really what folks in the city center are looking for right now. So we're trying to be responsive.
Well, the businesses have taken a huge hit over the years, last couple of years especially, and I know many are still upset about fee increases and stuff like that. Just most recently, the Olmsted, and this is not the city, this is Olmsted County, and their garbage hauling licensing fee went to $1,000 from $100. Do you see city businesses in the city saying, "Hey, if these things keep going up, we're just not going to be able to be here anymore"?
Well, people are worried about that, but it's not just Rochester that these things are happening. So I think, you'd be hard pressed if you don't like it here and you go to another town, you may find the same issues, because we also are recovering from the pandemic, and we also took a hit in our parking and hotel, motel taxes and all those things that the city survives on to help provide services. We took a hit too. So all cities are struggling, not just in the state of Minnesota, but across the country and in fact the world. So,
and I'm curious if at the State of the City address is where Mayo hands you the paycheck for covering stuff up, like we get it at Christmas time here in the media.
No.
That's a joke.
No.
So can we dispel this myth once and for all?
Yeah.
Mayo does not pay us to ignore stuff?
They don't pay us for anything except for the taxes like everyone else does on their buildings that are taxed.
And a pile of them, because they also have private, they have business
private ventures in town. Yeah. Absolutely. So, yeah.
Right.
So let's dispel those myths that any of us are on anyone's paycheck.
Good Lord, I would be living on Peel Hill, at the top, the very top of Peel Hill. Is there anything that when you look forward yourself, that now that you're in your next term, what's like a grand vision you have that keeps you awake at night that you think, okay, this we can really work on?
Well, I think one of the things we've really focused on, not just me as mayor, but the city council and the city as a whole, is working on our diversity, equity, and inclusion work, trying to be more inclusive and creating a city where everyone has an opportunity to thrive and to grow and to be prosperous. And, big cities have a challenge. We're not that big yet. We're a nice, moderate-sized city that has a lot of assets and a lot of resources, and we should be able, with some really focused work, be able to help everyone. I liken the, kind of the thought to Paul Wellstone, who would always say, we all do better when we all do better.
Right.
And so, kind of with that mindset of what can we do as a city. And so the Bloomberg Global Mayor's Challenge Grant that we won last year, we won $1 million. That money was just given to us at the end of the year. And in fact, I think it was like October 31st. And we are now right on the cusp of making our hire for the project manager for that work. And that will be $1 million over 3 years to help BIPOC women, Black, Indigenous, people of color, women get into the construction fields. Because we are a growing city. We need people working in the construction area. There is a shortage of construction workers. And I will talk about that a little bit tomorrow, too. The unemployment in the state is remarkably low. Mm-hmm. And so it's not just the construction industry. It's many industries that are struggling to find employees. Employers are struggling to find employees.
And do you find that it is lack of awareness that these populations can actually, that it's available to them, rather than a lack of interest?
Yes, I think that is what we found in the co-design work that we did for the year on this, and other co-design work that we continue to do, is that there is a lack of awareness in certain populations, recent immigrants, about opportunities. There are also cultural differences we're going to have to grapple with. There are some cultures who believe if women are going to work and in their household that they should be doing caregiving. Well, in this community, we need a lot of caregivers, so that's a good thing, but that's not the only thing they can do, and they're not even aware of the opportunities. So really, a lot of it is about information, raising awareness about what's out there, and then helping, provide a path so that those that are interested can get in the field.
Well, if you can get into construction, the money's good. They need people so badly, the money's great.
They do. And in our community, and this is something I talk about, because of Destination Medical Center, because we're a growing community, because of the industries that we have here, Mayo Clinic and others, we're going to continue to grow. So it's not just a job, it is a career.
Right. There's a lot of people that understand, thankfully more and more every day, that going into the trades is equally as valuable as going to college. And sometimes better for whoever it is, because that's more their way of life and something that they can really thrive at.
Right. And I think, all of us have told our children or if we're involved in education, a 4-year college degree is important. Well, yes, it is. And it does help in the future. But it's not the only avenue. There is still post-high school education that is not a 4-year liberal arts degree,
right,
that can provide you a wonderful future. and might fit in with your skill set really well. And so just making sure people understand that and can get into careers that they love. That's one of the things I always tell high school kids is find something you love to do and make a career of it.
Right. So what about the issue of homelessness in Rochester?
Yeah, we've been, of course, dealing with that almost from the start of my first term. We have made great headway in that area. We still have a problem, as other community and problem. I'm not sure that's even fair, but we do have an issue with people who need housing. We have some who don't want housing, and that's the problematic nature. We don't want people freezing to death in the city of Rochester. We want them to be safe, and yet they're a little resistant to the help. But we have a task force that's been meeting. They're actually going to reveal their decisions, I guess, here in the next week or so. But we've also been partnering with the county and working with HUD to try to commit to providing homeless housing. And some projects the county worked on last year. They worked with Taryn Edens in our community development department. So the city and county have been partnering on this.
And HUD
More
is urban
needed.
development? Is that what HUD
Housing
is?
and Urban Development.
Housing and Urban Development.
Yeah,
Okay.
and with the regional coordinator reached out to us, and we've been working with her for the last year, and the county and city signed a joint agreement, and we've been working together.
Something you see a lot on Facebook is when a new apartment building's going up downtown, people say, well, it's going to be another one where it's going to cost you $2,000 a month to stay in a teeny tiny room. That's not for us.
It may not be, but it is for a lot of people. And it's been interesting in talking with one of the developers that people are willing to have, for instance, look at a townhome or a house that has a smaller footprint, but still reasonable square feet. The city just passed their Unified Development Code, the UDC. And in that, we have allowed accessory dwelling units, and some people think of them as the apartment over the garage. Mm-hmm. There are some new developments in town. I just went and visited one with Councilmember Palmer that does indeed have your lovely several thousand square foot on a tiny footprint home with a UDC back over the garage, and it's lovely. Huh. And so they're willing and have started building those. So interesting.
And when we look at 2022, what was your happiest moment when it comes to working with the city council or something the city council did?
Oh, wow. Well, the UDC was a big deal. It took many, many years to get that done. So I think that has to be kind of top of mind. And we have, the unique city structure of the council votes, and the mayor has a voice but not a vote. It's kind of an interesting dynamic. And so I would say, we share input, but they ultimately have the vote. So I would say working on that UDC was top of mind for that joint venture. I would say probably for me, the Bloomberg Mayor's Challenge and being able to work on that workforce issue and dive into equity and inclusion was a highlight of my year.
And I want to pass along a compliment from my sister. This is where we're going to end today. We have some friends that they came in and they learned English at a class my sister and brother-in-law taught, conversational. And one is a single mom who has two great kids, and her oldest son had a chance to meet you and went into your office and such like that. And my sister was so impressed that it wasn't just a quick, hi, how you doing? Okay, get out, kid.
We try not to do that.
Well, and you and I know that, but I think most people don't understand that the mayor spends a lot of time with this kind of thing. And Joan just wanted me to pass along that she thought it was great that you spent real time and answered real questions and was really with the kid rather than just waiting for the time to be over.
Well, I appreciate that. And I would say one of those other warm moments for me was early on in my tenure as mayor in my first term was actually going out and meeting the homeless population that we have, knowing them by name, understanding their stories, which helped me be able to be more passionate about the work I did and really understand what their needs were. I haven't had that opportunity so much during COVID because things changed. But I'm thrilled that the Landing has opened their doors over there and want to get over there and take a tour and see how things are going.
Oh, my gosh. Those two have built such an amazing thing at the Landing.
They have.
All right, Mayor Norton, thank you for your time today. I appreciate it. It's been fun playing games with you and chatting on the air.
Thank you so much. Pleasure to be here.
You bet. This is Y105 FM's early morning show. Let's kick off the 8 a.m. All Music Hour, which will lead to... Well, let me do something here real quick. Okay, which will lead to your first chance at noon to win a trip to L.A. to meet, see a bunch of amazing artists performing at a award show that we can't name, but you can find out more about it on the app.
Grab your family.
One has been discharged from a Buffalo, New York hospital. He headed home yesterday, which is just fantastic news. If you didn't know, he went into cardiac arrest during a game against the Bengals on January 2nd, which seems like forever ago now, right? Also, the Tipsy Robot Bar in Las Vegas has robot bartenders. They make about 120 drinks an hour. Margaritas are $19. I am not paying $19 for a robot-made drink. It's just not going to happen. Also, have you heard about the Twins Caravan coming back at the end of the month? Absolutely the coolest thing ever because, and here's why it is the coolest thing ever, your kids get to meet the twin stars they see on TV, they see at the game, and all you got to do is come to the radio station at 122 4th Street Southwest to buy the tickets. $15 each. If you buy 2 tickets, you're going to get a free appetizer when you go to the event, which is happening at Whistle Binky's on the 30th. Whistle Binky's on the lake. So, Kurds and Twins players, what's not to like? But seriously, this is such a huge event. Happens every year that there's not a pandemic, and they sell out fast. So if you want some of these tickets, $15 a piece. For 2, you get an appetizer free. Just come to 122 4th Street Southwest, or just look up Y105 FM on the Googles, or on our website, or on our app. The address is right there.
Y105 FM, Rochester's.
Not paying $19 for a margarita. Now it's just plain, dough-headed. That's why it is a rabies shot here on Y105 FM's early morning show. What is it? Well, there's a bar in Las Vegas called the Tipsy Robot Bar, and it has robot bartenders. They can make 120 drinks an hour. And margaritas there cost $19. And some people are complaining on the internet machine because there is a mandatory 10% service fee for the robots. Why are they tipping robots? Why would the robots need tipping? They do not. You have cut costs dramatically by having robot bartenders. So you're still sucking up for more? Increase the prices if that's your case. And the only way to stop this nonsense is to not go there. But it sounds like a cool thing to do. No. As consumers, we got to put our foot down, stomp out this stupidity. Dough-headedness. 10% service fee. And they're charging $19 for a margarita. I'm thinking maybe it's a scam. A money grab. That's what it is. Not a scam, a money grab. I mean, people are dough-headed enough to pay $19 for a margarita plus a 10% service fee. All right, fine. Go ahead and do that. But we could knock that out of the park and stop the nonsense if people just stopped going. Imagine that. The power is with us. It's Y105 FM's early morning show. Keep listening because Michelle's going to give you a chance to win a fantastic trip to L.A. to see stars and singers and all kinds of stuff at an amazing award show. Thank you, Atlantic Records, for making it possible.
Reel in your next.
Hey, it's James Raby. Thank you so much for listening to the Y105 FM Early Morning Show Radio on Demand podcast. I hope you'll subscribe and tune in Monday through Friday between 6 and 10 for more fun than you can shake a stick at.